Hi class, in lesson 3.5 you will be learning about equivalent fractions. Learning targets for today, you will determine equal portions of a whole and equivalent fractions. You will calculate equivalent fractions using a form of 1, and you will simplify and order fractions. Key terms in lesson 3.5, simplest form and the multiplicative identity property. Turn to page 155. We are going to start lesson 3.5 with problem 2, equivalent fractions. Throughout this chapter, you have encountered equivalent fractions. Recall that equivalent fractions are fractions that represent the same part-to-whole relationship. When determining equivalent fractions, you must multiply the numerator and the denominator of a fraction by the same number. This process is the same as multiplying the given fraction by a fraction with the same numerator and denominator, such as 3/3. To change a fraction to an equivalent fraction with a larger numerator and denominator, you multiply the fraction by a form of 1. For example, 5/8 times 3/3 is equal to 15/24. Recall that any fraction whose numerator and denominator are the same number is equivalent to 1. Multiplying any number by 1 does not change that number. Answer number 1, letters A through D with your group members. Number 1, letter A, you are going to multiply by 3/3 to make the equivalent fraction. For letter B, you're going to multiply by 5/5 to make an equivalent fraction. Letter C, you are going to multiply by 3/3 to get 15/24, and for letter D, you are going to multiply by 1/1 to get 9/27. Turn to page 156, answer number 2 with your group members. Number 2, you just multiplied each fraction by a fraction form of 1. The multiplicative identity property states A times 1 is equal to A, where A is a non-zero number. Answer number 3, letters A through E with your group members. Number 3, letter A, you are going to multiply by 4/4 to get 4/16. Letter B, you're going to multiply by 2/2 to get 4/6. And for letter C, you are going to multiply by 2/2 to get 14/32. Letter D, you're going to multiply by 3/3 to get 9/12. And for letter E, you're going to multiply by 1/1 to get 1/18. Turn to page 157. Now to change a fraction to an equivalent fraction with a smaller numerator and denominator, you must divide the numerator and denominator by a form of 1. For example, 15/24 divided by 3/3 is equal to 5/8. Whenever you determine an equivalent fraction whose numerator and denominator are smaller than the original fraction's numerator and denominator, the new fraction is simpler. When a fraction cannot be simplified further, the fraction is in simplest form, or completely simplified. Simplest form is a way of writing a fraction so that the numerator and denominator have no common factors other than 1. You can say a fraction is in a simpler form in several ways listed here, and sometimes it is read using these examples here. Answer number 5, letters A through C with your group members. Number 5, letter A, the fraction is in simplest form because 3 and 8 have no common factors other than 1. Letter B, this fraction is not simplified. 2/4 still share a common factor of 2. The fraction in simplest form would be 1/2. And for letter C, this fraction is also not simplified. 6 and 9 share a common factor of 3, so the fraction in simplest form would be 2/3. Turn to page 158, answer number 6 with your group members. 9/13 and 7/12 are the only fractions that should be circled that are completely simplified because the numerator and denominator do not share a common factor other than 1. Recall that the factors of a number are those numbers that divide into the number with no remainder. Answer number 7 with your group members. You can use factors to simplify fractions by determining the greatest common factor for both the numerator and denominator. Then you can divide the numerator and denominator by the GCF to simplify the fraction. Answer number 8, letters A through F with your group members. Find the GCF to write each fraction in simplest form. Number 8, letter A, my GCF is 3, my simplest form is 2/3. B, GCF is 3, simplest form is 3/4. C, GCF is 3, simplest form is 1/3. D, GCF is 3, simplest form is 4/5. E, GCF is 18, simplest form is 1/2. And F, GCF is 14, simplest form is 1/3. Correction for number 8, letter C, your GCF should have been 8 for your simplest form of 1/3. Turn to page 159, answer number 9 with your group members. Jose's method is correct, but it is not complete. 6/9 still can have a common factor of 3. So we still need to simplify the fraction by dividing the numerator and denominator by 3/3 to get 2/3 in simplest form. Sarah's method is correct. She found the GCF of 24 and 36 and divided the numerator and denominator by the GCF in order to get 2/3 in simplest form. Clifton's method is also correct. He divided out the common factors from the numerator and denominator to simplify the fraction and get 2/3. Turn to page 160, answer number 10, letters A through F with your group members. Refer back to Clifton's example if needed. I divided out the common prime factors for you in order for you to see each of the fractions in simplest form using Clifton's method. For letter A, you should have 3/4, B 1/3, C 6/7, D 5/6, E 4/5, and letter F, the fraction is already simplified, 8/15. Answer number 11, letters A through F with your group members. Letter A, your GCF is 4, your fraction is 6/7. B, GCF is 1, 45/56. Letter C, your GCF is 11, 3/7. Letter D, GCF is 16, 1/2. Letter E, GCF is 9, 7/8. And for letter F, your GCF is 9, 8/11. This will conclude our lesson for today on equivalent fractions. Please let me know if you have any questions. Thanks.